So today we're finally doing something that I've been putting off for way too long, and that is to build a duck run finally. As most of you know, I've been struggling with a bad fox problem ever since I stopped having a livestock dog, and we've unfortunately lost a couple of ducks last week to the fox. So today I'm going to be building a DIY duck run on a budget. This is something I've been putting off for way too long, but I just didn't have the time. But since this fox has just came back recently, I definitely had to make time for it. If you want to pause here and screenshot or take a picture of this is the list of everything I bought. Most of it already had on hand, but I did buy a lot of the rest of these new things. All of these supplies and materials costed me maybe $350, but if you have old fence posts laying around, you can just take those back out of the ground and reuse those, and then you can honestly just use a hammer or a mallet to hammer the fence post in. I just use the fence post little driver thing. My little sheep are being so crazy right now. So basically what I'm doing is building a 10 by 10 duck run. I'm taking 4 fence posts, it doesn't matter how tall they are, and I'm measuring them about 10 feet apart from the chicken coop and then apart from each other. Once I have them measured, I just hammer them into the ground, and then I just take those 8-foot tall pieces of 2x4s and screw them into the fence posts. Once I have the basic frame of that set up, I'm just going to add some 10-footers at the bottom and try to secure all of the pieces together to start building the structure. For the top part though, I do use the 12-footers because it reaches the whole chicken coop, so it adds a lot of support. And there you go, it's actually a lot easier than it looks. And let me give you a really quick in-depth tutorial in person of kind of what I did. Alright, so first I took these fence posts, hammered them into the ground, and then I attached a piece of 2x4. This one's about 8 feet tall, and I attached it onto this post using some screws. They do stick out a little, but you can just hammer those down or something. And then once I got all 4 of my fence posts put in with some 8-foot 2x4s attached to them, then I took a 10-foot 2x4 and ran it on the bottom to secure the bottom. I did a 12-footer at the top. That way it can also connect to my coop. That way it gives it extra strength. As you can see, it's not going anywhere. I did the same for the other side. Now that everything is, the base is built, the next thing I need to do is start adding the fencing around it. So let's go ahead and get started on that. This is the run that I built for my chicken coops a few months back. This one actually costed me a little over $600 only because I put metal roofing on it. Without the roofing, this would have honestly costed about the same. But we're basically building essentially the same structure as what this is. We just sandwich wood to make the door and we install a latch. Chickens are different though because I put roosting bars in there. And then for the birds, I did line the bottom with hardwire cloth. That way raccoons can't reach in, but either way I put everyone up every single night. And as you can see, the ducks and geese are super impatient right now. So let's hurry up and get started right back on this run. Okay, so now that we got the basic structure made, before I put on the fencing, I want to go ahead and put down some artificial turf. I've noticed a lot of other people doing this and I want to try it myself, but it makes cleaning a lot easier for the ducks. They get super messy because of their pool and they also make everything muddy. So this is an absolute genius idea in my opinion. All I have to do is just spray it down every few days and it cleans up all the dirt and the poop and all the nastiness. I'm going to add mulch all in this area too, just so that it doesn't get super muddy over here. And then I just finally laid some mulch down. That way that part doesn't get as muddy and it's not like a giant muddy mess in here. So this should help a lot with all the mud and all the gross nastiness. All I have to do is just rinse it off once I get in here. The next crucial thing you need to add in a duck run and a goose run is a pool for sure. So I added this one, but you do want to add some cinder blocks or some kind of stepping stool so they can actually get in and out. Plan is to cut a hole in the side of it and install a drain tube with a little valve. Way easier to clean out. Alright, it's the next day, so now I have the energy to go ahead and start adding all the fencing. Most people like to put blocking right in between to add some extra support. Since my run is so small and I'm going to put a door at the end, it's definitely going to have support already. I am using U-nails in order to attach the fencing. I would use staples, but they do not hold as well. So I had to individually hammer every single U-nail into this freaking run. And let me tell you, it was a work of art. But like I said, make sure when you're building your run that it's no taller than 6 feet tall. That way when you attach the fencing, everything blends seamlessly. You don't have to worry about any gaps anywhere. My fiance came out at the end to help. To be fair, he was gone at work like all weekend, and I decided to do this while he was gone. But yeah, I got the fencing on, and let's see how the ducks like it. Okay, stay It's definitely safe to say they love it a lot more than that tiny coop. But now we're going to go ahead and start building and framing out the door. It's actually easier than you think. So we're basically taking the fencing that I already attached and we're putting a tall piece of wood right where we want to frame it at. And then all you have to do is just cut out the fencing to shape the door. And then you're going to cut 2 pieces that are the same size for each side of the door, and you're going to sandwich that fencing you just cut between those pieces you cut. So if it doesn't make sense, you can just watch to kind of see what we're doing. But we basically just took these little pieces of wood and we measured it to make sure it can actually open the door and close it, and it fits right in that little door frame. And then like I said, we just took that piece of fencing that we cut and then just sandwiched wood in between it. Pretty simple process, but that's why I bought so much wood.
Go. Geese.
I bought 8 of those 8-footers because I was going to cut those in half and then use them to sandwich it. And then normally when the door's a lot bigger, you want to put blocking in between the doors so that it holds it up together. But since this door was so tiny and we also secured everything together with some screws, we really didn't need blocking in the middle of the door. So once you get everything all sandwiched together, you're going to want to make sure that the door isn't sitting too flush with the door frame because obviously it's not really going to open. So it takes a little bit of measuring, but basically you just want to make it a tiny bit smaller than the door frame. Then you just attach it with hinges and a latch and there you go. And then right now I'm obviously finishing up just adding the fencing. I just took and sandwiched the fencing to the chicken coop using some random scrap wood. The sheep are just being so nosy today. They're usually eating out at the pasture minding their business, but since I'm building something, they always want to stick around. It's so cute. But anyways, this is the final reveal of the new duck coop for only 350 bucks. It's safe to say the animals definitely love it, but obviously this is not a permanent structure. They're not going to sit in here every day all day. Obviously I'm going to let them free range, supervise, but on days where I'm sick or I'm unable to be out all day, this is kind of where they're going to hang out at, just so they're not stuck in a really tiny coop. We do have 17 acres, so they got plenty of land to roam on, but until I get a livestock dog very soon or we catch this fox, this is kind of going to be a temporary solution. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you found it helpful, please hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. Let me know if you want to see me build anything else. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.